We're so excited to be hosting this event tonight at Treeline. I'm Naomi Hudetz. I'm one of the co-founders, along with Liz Thomas. She's also the co-founder of Treeline. I'm going to introduce all of the panelists briefly. First, we have Junior. He's a legend in the ski world. He started teaching in 1948 and recently retired in about 10 years ago when he was 89, and literally has taught thousands of people how to ski over his career, and was fundamental in developing the American ski technique, which hopefully we'll get to talk about that later as well. Next up, we have Beth, nickname Hurricane, which I'm hoping she'll tell us the story behind that. She started skiing at 40, which I just love. And she taught alpine skiing for 14 years in Crested Butte, but has recently switched over to Nordic skiing and is coordinator of the United Immigrants Program, outreach program, where she teaches families, including children, parents, grandparents, how to ski. And then finally, we have Jesse Logan. He also didn't start skiing until he was 40 years old. Again, super inspiring. And even as a novice, his first love was backcountry. And so today he spends over 100 days skiing in the Yellowstone backcountry and leads backcountry ski tours in Yellowstone. So welcome, Jesse, welcome, Beth, and welcome, Junior. We are really, really honored that you're here with us tonight. All right. So Dean, let's get started. I'm going to start with just the basic questions. Beth, maybe you can start. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Where do you live and ski? When did you start skiing? I guess we covered that a little bit. What's your favorite type of skiing? You start us off?
I ski in Crested Butte, Colorado. We are at 8,885 feet. And then we have what I'm currently working at the Nordic Center. I've been there for 15 years, 16, something like that. Who knows? Okay, so I started out, actually, I had the same background as Jesse. I started out in backcountry, but then when I came to Crested Butte, I started working at the ski area and worked there for 14 years. And then moved over to Nordic skiing, and it is the delight of my life. And I don't it was a move that was really good for me, and I'm happy I did it. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. How about Jesse?
Live at least in winter in Cook City, Montana. And I grew up in Colorado, but Pueblo is not exactly a mountain community, so I didn't grow up skiing. But moving back after college and spending some time in the Army to Fort Collins, a job in Fort Collins when I was in my mid-30s, with my oldest son, who was like 4, started skiing at the then Hidden Valley in the national park. It was a local name for it was Hidden Rock. It was kind of an interesting place to learn how to ski, particularly for my kids. If you could ski at Hidden Valley, you could ski just about anywhere. And then did a little time back east, moved to Logan, Utah in my early 40s, and started skiing primarily in the backcountry. And, that has continued after I retired and moved to Montana. Spent a little over 100 days a year in the backcountry and sometimes guide. So, that's kind of it for me.
I see you. Can you see me?
Yes. Yeah, we can hear you. You want to tell us a little about yourself and where you are and what kind of skiing you do?
Can I bring up the biggest question I have of my early skiing career. My mother gave me a pair of skis when I was 11 years old for Christmas. Why did she ever do that? I don't know. But it started me in with real skis from barrel staves. And it continued on with all kinds of skiing. I grew up on a fruit farm with hillsides, and this is where I learned to ski. And the one of the breakthroughs was early skinning, climbing mountains, and I was in good condition. And the inner mountain had a cross country race, and this was 1945. And I was just out of high school. And, you know, my friend talked me into entering, and I was more physical than brawn than head. But anyway, I won the race by 3 minutes at an hour's race. But it brought attention to skiing to me more. And with that extra attention, I started competition in different elements of races. But the thing that turned me on that I enjoyed the most was teaching. And so instead of becoming a competitor, I loved to work with people and teach them, even though I was not in ski school, until I met Alf Engen. And Alf Engen was one of my teachers, my mentors, and he taught me a lot about cross country, jumping, teaching. And I went to work for Alf in 1948 as a full-time instructor. And life developed great from there. 48, we went to mentioning PSI in the 60s. So professional skiing and organization became part of my life as well. And then I went on to be a ski school director at Snowbird after Alta. And well, that's my life. Skiing is my life. Thank you.
That's great, Junior. Thank you so much for sharing that. It's just wonderful that you're here tonight with us. I guess I'd like to talk a little bit about maybe how has your skiing changed over the years? Have you found, you know, new ways to ski, or did you pick up? I mean, I know that we talked a little bit about this with Beth, that you switched from Alpine to Nordic. Do you do them all? I'd love to hear about how your skiing lives have changed.
Yeah, when I was skiing at Crested Butte, when I was teaching there, we didn't have those shaped skis. And so people were kind of wrenching their way through turns on these very straight and actually very long skis. And skiing has changed a lot since the skis have become shaped, and they have, you know, they're pretty dynamic. And but no, I don't do that anymore, but I do enjoy making turns. And the skis that I have, the backcountry right now, are a shaped ski, and they're only about this long, you know, and they have a crown on them. That's for, I'm sure everybody here knows this. It's a surface on the bottom that will grab if you're climbing, but won't interfere with your skiing as you're going down. So I went out yesterday and I just did laps. I was having so much fun because there was soft snow. So my skiing has changed in that I get those kinds of turns in the backcountry, and then I get to skate ski and classic ski and ski with the kids and ski with some clients and some outreach people. And it's changed a lot because there's a lot more variety in terms of what you can do in Nordic compared to what you can do with alpine skiing, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, if you're on alpine skis, you're in stiff boots. And, I have these sort of flimsy things. And I can go anywhere with what I have for backcountry. And I just really like where I work and the people that I work with. So it makes my life great, and it keeps a smile on my face. So that's,
Thank you so much.
yeah.
You seem happy, I will say. Jesse, how about you?
Oh, when I first started backcountry skiing, there were long, skinny skis with a 3-pin binding and telemark turns. And it was a gradual learning curve, and there was a certain advantage to that. It just took time to learn that technique, and you were happy in really modest sort of easy terrain. And so as you improved, you learned a little bit about the backcountry and some of the hazards like avalanche safety and things like that. And it took out with friends for a year or two before you started to step into more serious terrain. So it was a slow, gradual progression. And eventually, with even the telemark uh, gear improved, became more like alpine gear. And then there was the advent of the AT gear, which is essentially modified or really no different than an alpine ski, super lightweight, slap on the skins, climb up, and the technique is essentially the same as a ski is. So people now can, with modern gear, step right into really serious terrain in the backcountry without that gradual introduction. And so, as sometimes backcountry guide, the first thing I tell new clients, dial it back a degree or two, and so that the gear has changed dramatically. And even the 30 years or so I've been in the backcountry, and there's the advantage to that. People don't have to learn a new technique. They just apply, exactly what they have learned and used to in a ski area. But there is some cost to that in the slow, gradual acquaintance with the hazards of the backcountry. Two things in the backcountry or backcountry skiing are different than resort. One is condition. You have to climb up the mountain if you're going to ski down. And the second is risk. So, the gear is changed dramatically, and the techniques have changed dramatically, and it's all fun. So anyhow, that's where the gear and in my experience in backcountry skiing.
Great. Thank you, Jesse. Junior, anything to add here? Have you noticed any changes since 1948?
Changes in skiing. The world of skiing changed when the ski resort started farming
Oh,
the
yeah.
terrain. And they take care of it now with corduroy that makes skiing easy. And I love it. I love corduroy. Anyway, 30 years, the biggest change to alpine skiing is terrain improvement by working. And the next thing is ski shape. We've talked about ski shape. The shape skis came into my life about 3 years ago. Stein Erickson used to tell me, "You got to carve, Junior." I said, "I can't carve like you do." And now I have shape skis and they're toys. I can have such a good time playing on skis on a mountain, whether it's steep, fast, 40 miles an hour or 10. It's all playing and pleasure. And I enjoy all of the improvements.
I've wondered that if, how has it changed? Have the barriers to entry come down? All of that's, I find really interesting. And I guess to follow up on that, what about your skills? How do you keep up on your skills as a skier? Do you take clinics? Do you take classes? I mean, I know a lot of you are teachers or leaders. How do you keep up on your skills?
We have a son who we taught to ski when he was 6, 7, 8, 9, became a ski racer at 11, 12, 13, 14, coached the ski team for Snowbird for 30 years. He is my personal coach and mentor that I imitate. And every day that I ski with him, I'm trying something new. Skiing is not boring. Every day is a new day and enjoyable. Yes, I do take lessons.
I love that. I think that learning is the key, right? Jesse, anything to add here?
Well, that's maybe a little different than what you have in mind when you say clinic or skills training, but like this year I had to renew my wilderness first responder. So, that's training. And
Absolutely.
every year, well, twice a year, Yellowstone National Park, both in winter and summer, has guide training day. And so, I participate in that. And I started learning avalanche skills with a national avalanche school, which is pretty intensive training, but keep up with essentially annual in Colorado, the Seesaw or the Montana Snow Avalanche Workshop. So keep up on recent advances in the avalanche forecasting, and just every day start off the day with a cup of coffee and the avalanche forecast for our area. And that's a learning experience. There's a lot of learning with that. So my not formal clinics, but workshop skills and keeping current certification. So that's what the backcountry is about.
Training, I just
Yeah.
try to stay, I just refreshed all of my courses just because I haven't done them in a long time. And that was interesting because the teaching model is different and it's better. And I learned some things. And so that was really good for me. And it kind of like shifts your brain a little bit in terms of what to think about. And as far as my training, I pretty much try to focus on my form whenever I'm out. And if I'm finding that I just haven't clicked in yet, I stop and I just say, okay, let's get this right. And that's what I love, is that you can always get better. And that's very satisfying. And as far as training goes per se, I train just going uphill. I just try to get my cardio up, and I try to be able to really sustain a good pace going uphill when I'm in the backcountry. And that's all I'm up to recently.
Good. Well, I think to sort of then piggyback on that, what about in the off season? How do you stay in shape in the off season? Do you run? Do you weightlift? Do you stretch? Anything in particular? Any
I
kind of
am
routine that you have?
long distance runner.
Nice.
Yeah.
Like trail running, I assume.
Yes.
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 Right.
I didn't mention that. Yeah. I go everywhere. I think about a lake I want to go see. I just go run to it. And there are circuits here of trails that go everywhere. And so it's easy once you're familiar with the map, you can go anywhere. And you can make it a 50-mile run, or you can make it a 30-mile run, or you can make it a 45-minute run because you have an appointment someplace. And it all works out.
Yeah.
And that's how I maintain. And I just try to keep myself from tripping on rocks. That is a terrible thing.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, and off season I don't do a lot. I do some free weights and do some rucking, hiking with weight, backpacking, um, hike in to fish the remote sections of the Yellowstone, active. And I think my goal is to begin the season, maybe not really in ski shape, but close enough that I can get into ski shape. And I'm backcountry skiing every day, and I don't think there's anything better as far as cardio, total body conditioning. It's, I don't do any other activity where I spend 6 or 7 hours in zone 2, 3 cardiovascular. So, I think it's probably just as a byproduct of having tremendous enjoyment and fun, I get in the best shape of my life by the end of the ski season, and it slowly deteriorates during the summer. And the next season, I am back at it. So far, that's worked okay.
I'll say two things. First of all, I was through an evolution of powder skiing, and I won't talk about that. The next question asked me frequently is, how do you keep going? How do you keep aging? What is your secret? And the secret is do not stop. My last marathon, I was 81. And hiking, skiing is easy. It doesn't take any work to ski. Going uphill takes work, and I ride a chairlift. I cheat by getting lift rides. And as of today, I've had 34 days skiing, and it's chairlift skiing, not hiking anymore like I did. When I was 80, I thought I could do anything, climbing mountains. But now I've slowed down, we'll say.
Does everybody know how old you are?
Are you comfortable sharing that with us, Junior? How old
oh,
are you?
I'm 99. I'll be 100 in August.
Wow.
And I will ski the number of days of my age if I'm lucky. Luck is one thing, good management is another. And so sometimes I make the right decisions, not all the time. I make bad decisions too, but I enjoy what I do, and I've enjoyed my whole life of things that I like to do. And I never stop doing the things that I like to do. And I hope it continues. I do want to continue to stay in shape. I want to be healthy and in good shape when I die. So that's my goal.
It's an excellent goal.
Right.
And I think too, the social part of it is so important. It just in general in our lives, do you still get social interaction and enjoyment out of your skiing?
It's an interesting question, social. In that my latter years teaching seniors, I found that seniors quit skiing not because of ability or their strength, their health, but because they lose their skiing buddies. So when you say social, social is an extremely good part of skiing.
Mhm.
It doesn't matter if I ride up with a stranger, it is pleasant to ask them where they're from. And so social does not end when your friends die, when you lose friends, but it's a big important. Make new friends, make younger friends so that you can keep up with the younger ones. But yes, social is extremely important in the skiing world.
I
How about-
completely agree. I can't
Yeah.
imagine not having that, being able to go out and connect with people in a very positive way. I mean, ski areas are happy places, and Nordic centers are happy places. You just, it's hard to be frowning when you're out there. I haven't tried.
Yeah, the only thing I could add to that is, there's no generation gap in the mountains.
Mhm.
I I ski a lot with backcountry partners. Not every day I wouldn't want to ski with younger skiers, younger, more capable, stronger skiers every day. But often I'm skiing with partners that are less than half my age.
Mhm.
And it's not because they're out with me for the challenge. It's because we enjoy one another's company.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that social interaction is so important. And I can maybe add some of my experience of a lifetime spent in the mountains and to them, and they keep me engaged in society and in the world. They're just, it's all the differences between people and generations disappears when you're in the mountains and you have to be in the moment. It's important to be in your environment. So that social aspect is tremendously rich.
Mhm.
Mhm. Junior talked a little bit about this, but I know a lot of people would like to know, what is your secret? What's your best piece of advice for getting to where you are and continuing to do what you love?
I think Junior said it already. Keep on keeping on.
Mhm.
Just, I don't know how I got to be 80. It just happened. And you just, it, there are limitations, of course, medical, physical as you get older, but to live to the capacity of what you're able to do. And you all of a sudden you're 99 like Junior and still getting after it.
Mhm.
My foundation is consistency. If I have, it's kind of in my DNA by now. And I think it happens to people that are are aging well. And I didn't realize it when I was doing it, but I just really like being able to get up in the morning and know that the very first thing I'm going to do, even if it's in the dark and it's 27, 28 below, like it was 2 days ago, I go out. I figure out how to dress. I have everything I own on, and I go out and I ski. Or even on a cloudy day when it's, in the summer, I go out, and it just makes things better to be able to feel alive, be out in nature. It's just refreshing and invigorating. And you have friends that go and do the same things. And so you can find people that you can go and hike with if they don't want to run. And it's just consistency. That is the core of how I feel like I get from day to day, from miserable weather to good weather to all of those things. That there's something really consistent about it, So
Do you go out alone? I'm curious. Like you were saying, first thing in the morning, do you get up and
I can't talk anybody into coming out at
I
28
was gonna
below.
say that
You
could be a tough sell.
I mean, don't blame me. I do take an inReach with me, and I hope everybody that is listening has some kind of, search and rescue device. I think that's important,
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nobody's above that, because things happen.
Yep.
You just never know.
Yep.
And so I carry my inReach with me, and I turn it on, and I turn it off when I get home. And I think that really helps a lot, just in terms of, because I get nagged by my friends. Tell somebody where you're going. And I said, how do I know?
Yeah, I would add that it's also a relationship savior. One day came back from skiing. I said, oh, I'll be back in, 5 o'clock or so, and it gets dark. And I come in,
Right.
something's happened, and I'm a couple hours late. And my wife, Catherine, said, this is going to stop. I'm not going to be doing this anymore. And
Mhm.
got an in reach. And now I just hit, and say, okay, I'm okay, but I'm going to be late.
Mhm.
And everybody smiles.
Yeah, I
So
think that's very true. And it's calmed down my friends, so I don't get this. Why don't you write a note? It's like I forget. So now I don't forget. It's just part of what I do. And when I'm leading backcountry tours, it's handy because it's on my pack already, and I turn it on for all of us that I'm taking out on a tour. So it's an easy thing to have and use.
Yep. Yeah, really smart. Really, really smart. A similar question, but slightly different. Is there anything that you wish you had done when you were younger to make your life easier today? Like to make your skiing life easier? Any different kinds of conditioning? I guess we want to talk a little bit about nutrition as well. Do you find yourself focused more on nutrition as you age to stay in shape?
I've really kind of simplified. What I eat, and I'm not a great guest in that way, because I don't eat certain foods. I don't eat potatoes. There's more. It's easier to tell you what I eat instead of what I don't eat. So these are the things that make a difference. I mean, there are things that make a difference for me and how I feel when I go out and run. And that's where I just say, okay, this is working for me, so I'm going to stick with it. And that, it doesn't bother me that it's not the most delicious thing in the whole wide world. I just know that it'll sustain me, and I can get through what I want to get through. And enjoy it, not feel like I'm starving, not feeling like there's something wrong with my stomach or anything like that. So all of that food just sort of agrees with me. I'm a terrible cook, by the way.
I'm right there with you.
I don't enjoy it that much. And so it's easy for me to eat very simple foods,
Mhm.
no processed foods, no processed foods.
Mhm.
So I think that that's important because those foods have really been infiltrated with a lot of chemicals that make things taste better. And we don't need that.
Yeah, I'm in no position to give much advice. I've never really watched my diet, but I'm fortunate because again, Catherine, my wife, is really a good cook and she has formal training, college training in nutrition. And we joked that when we got married, my red meat consumption dropped by half and hers increased by twice. So,
Somewhere in the middle.
I just kind of uh, am in good hands, and it just happens. But I agree with what Beth said. That just uh, we eat. She shops at the local co-op, pretty much organic, avoid highly processed foods, and she's really talented cook. So it all works out. I'm lucky, fortunate in life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's great.
Junior, what do you eat, Junior? You're 99. Do you have any secrets?
I probably eat less and better than any time in my life, which means fruits, vegetables, dried goods, and juices.
Mhm.
But the thing that stirs me up the most is the competitive part at daily skiing. Today, how why is competitiveness left out? Every run, well, who makes the most turns nonstop? Or who goes the fastest, slowest? Who looks the most controlled? Who looks the style? Who looks graceful, etc. But every run has a feeling of trying to do better than your friends. And so skiing is competitive. I love it. I love the skiing powder and finding the rough stuff or the good stuff and whatever. Am I still on or am I just talking to it?
No, you're still on. We're listening. So are you saying you do like the competitiveness?
I do.
You do.
I
Yeah.
grew up competitive in skiing and then turned to teaching. And then my son was on the U.S. ski team 8 years and coached 30 years. And he became my personal coach. And every run is competitive with him. And I have zero chance of keeping up or doing anything.
Well,
like
that's
that.
encouraging.
Yeah, you know what you call two guys skiing together? A race.
Do any of you ever
When-
feel the effects of elevation? Do you ever have to worry about that, or do you live year round in it and it's just part of your life?
Yeah, just part of
Is
life.
this still
Yeah.
Junior or who? Elevation. My hometown is Provo, Utah, 4,000 feet. The resort, Snowbird, is 8,000 feet.
Whoa.
I have a condominium, a room at the lodge at Snowbird at 8,000 feet. I sleep better, drink better water, and eat food and get daily exercise. Daily, on the hill. And yes, elevation is a part of it, but I feel at home going to 11,000 feet. It's no problem.
Mhm.
So I
Yeah.
guess my parents gave me good lungs and good body, and I inherited uh, a lot of good things in life.
So we just had a question for you, Junior, from the audience. What's your favorite run at Snowbird?
Oh, that's easy. Am I on yet?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
from the top of the tram is my favorite run. 360 degrees, any direction.
Any run from the top of the tram to the
Any
bottom.
run. 3,000 vertical feet, but nowadays, I enjoy 1,000 more than 3,000. No, favorite runs are a variable that changes with light, sunshine, wind, snow condition changes. A good instructor or a good skier knows how to read the mountain. They know where to go, which run to go down. Do you want sunshine or the dark side of the mountain? Do you want the powder? Do you want the corduroy? Do you want the chop powder that's testy? Well, I could go on, but my favorite runs are all over the mountain. That person didn't know me very well to ask that question.
It's a great answer. I'll give you that. But Beth, I know that you live in Crested Butte, which is it's over 10,000 feet, isn't it?
8,885.
Okay. So
But the ski area goes up to 11. I think the top of the I forgot what's the name of the lift, Dean? The top of the Silver Queen is, I think it's up at 11,000 feet.
I think it's 11,300 maybe.
Right,
Ah.
yeah. I really don't feel it that much, I think when I get up to about 14,000 is when I start to,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's a little bit, it's a little bit harder going up that far,
yeah, yeah.
but,
Yeah,
really.
Cook is 75,
Mhm.
and we ski up, close to 11,000.
Mhm.
But my son's an avalanche forecaster at the CAIC, so I get down backcountry skiing in Colorado occasionally.
Mhm.
And I said, "Oh man, I'm just whipped today. What's going on?"
Yeah.
And in Colorado, in the backcountry, you start where we finish in Montana.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah.
I said I don't feel that. Yeah, I feel elevation for sure.
Yeah.
And I think Beth's right. 14 grand. Yeah, you really
Yeah.
start to feel whipped.
It starts to hit you, but if you're drinking your electrolytes and you're drinking your water and you're eating food, you can keep yourself going. It's just that your pace might drop off a little bit, that's how it goes. But, yeah, I feel like I'm lucky, but a lot of the people, we have tons of athletes in this town. It's incredible. And, you just don't try to race against anybody because everybody gets out every day. It seems to me that everybody's really, really fit. And that includes our seniors, which is great. We have people that are still out riding their bikes down to Gunnison and riding the bus back.
Wow.
So
Wow.
I think that's pretty cool. And they play pickleball. And we had one of our ladies actually went to a tournament for it. I can't remember where she was. She went to the Flatlands. She must have nailed everybody. So,
She probably did.
yeah. So, yeah, that's not as much of a concern as it used to be.
We do have some questions coming in from the audience. One of them
Okay.
is, can you share one of your biggest skier inspirations, past or present?
Oh, that's easy for me. It's my boss, Bo Fredlin. He is the lead guide and owner of Yellowstone Ski Tours, and it's just amazing what this young guy, 40-year-old guy now, can do, and the ground he can cover. So I don't have to look very far. And there are other, just I get inspired. Dean is pretty inspiring, and the things he's done that I know about in life, and the way he's come back for some serious challenges recently, and the way he's able to express it. So hats off to you, Dean.
Thank you, Jesse.
100% agree with that. Junior, do you have an inspiration?
Of course, started with my mother, my family, my school teachers,
Skiing
and it
inspirations.
worked into skiing. And my mentor was Al Fingan. And I went to work for Al Fingan in 1948. And 10 years, he taught me everything I know and helped me with the industry. Would I be where I was today without him? I don't think so. He was an inspiration that he loved people, and he generally passed this on, the love of our clients. He used to say, Junior, don't show off too much with your clients. They're better at something than you are, and remember that. So we often, it was treating clients as equals and friends, relationship.
Yeah.
And Al Fingan inspired a lot of my feelings in the ski industry to do what I did.
That's wonderful. Thank you, Junior.
We just had some big cross country skier, our female team is pretty incredible in skating, and there's Jessie Diggins is the person that I've met her, but I don't know her. But I think that she has the determination and the stamina, and that she cares so much about her racing, and I look to models like that, even though I know I could never ski like her.
Yeah.
But it's and then I have people that are out on the trails all the time, and like a woman named Kathy Norgard. She's pretty incredible. She has been one of our hosts at the Nordic Center now for 14 years, and she's still out there. She has a great time. I admire her for the way she treats herself and the way she treats other people.
We have another really good question. As a 48-year-old, very novice cross-country skier, I'm pretty concerned about injury. Do you practice falling? Learning to stop will help me, I think. I think that's a great question. Do you practice falling?
If I need to show somebody how to get up, then I need to fall and then demonstrate to them how to get up. And, but not for myself, but, because everybody after a while, you know what you're doing. I got caught in a big snow pile today, and it was really interesting because I was trying to get a photograph, and the ground went out from underneath me. It wasn't like an avalanche. Don't get me wrong. I think I was in the middle of a willow field, and you just drop down a few feet and then you can't, it's hard to get up. And I think about that and I think about people that feel that way when they're on the slopes. And so I'm very careful at teaching the exact technique for them to get up comfortably and not be twisting it around and all that. So yes, I practice it with my students and I practice it with myself if it happens to
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have to practice falling. It comes quite natural.
Junior, do you practice falling?
Of course. My practice is if I fall, is somebody to get my skis off so I can get up. But the main thing I practice is standing up, not falling. I
Yeah,
want to
yeah.
stand up and ski.
Yeah. Yeah.
No
That's
practice.
that's fair. Well, I mean, we're closing in here at the end of the hour. Do you have any final thoughts, any words of encouragement to stay active? Anything else you want to share with us?
Oh, absolutely. That's the biggest question I'm asked daily.
Mm.
And the words I use is don't stop. And don't stop means anything that you like to do, your enjoyment in life at any age. If it's something you enjoy, do not stop doing it. This is life, to continue with the things we enjoy, and it makes our life feel grateful. And it's a pleasure. Every day you look positive, you look forward, not behind you. You look forward and the joys that you like to do. Don't stop.
So great.
I agree completely. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's great.
Yeah. Jesse, any final thoughts?
And congratulations to you.
Yeah, there was a question from a Logan, Utah friend about camping, winter camping, asking if I still
Oh,
enjoyed it. And I think that, what Junior said is exactly right. You enjoy things, keep it up. And the advantage of winter camping, and I've got the pretty sweet setup with a tent that has a little titanium stove, is the older you get, the longer the approaches are, even if they're the same distance. But if you have a base camp set up, you're already there. So anyhow, I just would reinforce what Junior has said. That's kept him going for what, 99 years. That's pretty hard advice to ignore. So good on you, Junior.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
well, I can't thank you all enough. I personally found this so inspirational. Thank you for sharing your time and your lives with us. Just wonderful advice. And thank you, Dean, for bringing us all together here.